Alright, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to some more Perseverance or Perseverance. My name is Raven from the Sky, and let's continue. I was able to lead the dog all the way back to the cabin. I pulled my phone out and called for reinforcements. I knew how to patch up small scratches, but this guy needed someone more skilled than me. Hi, veterinarian boy. Hi, Jack. You remember? You must have been good with ladies. Yeah, sure. I need your help. You know a thing or two about treating animals, right? Yeah, a thing or two. Why? You had a change your heart about shooting animals? No, I still hold my point. But I found the dog tied to a tree. Some bastard left him there to die. He's in bad shape. Did you beat up the guy? No, but I would have if I had the chance. Anyway, the dog needs your attention. Wow, I mean, it's awful. Let me just grab my gear and I'll be right there. Are you going to leave your store unattended? Yeah, 2 hours won't hurt me. I've earned the weekend's money already. The troops that arrived recently at Murphy's base left a lot of cash. Alright, thanks man, see you soon. Bob came earlier than I expected. My guess was he had been speeding all the way. Hey Jack, where's the patient? You don't waste time, do you, over there? It took time convincing to get the dog to walk through the door, but in the end, a prospect of a warm place to rest won him over. Bob approached the animal slowly. He clicked his tongue to get the dog's attention. Then he extended his hand so the dog could smell it. Unlike me, he seemed to know exactly what to do. Bob reached down and removed the collar. I wondered if he would be able to keep his hands intact. Fortunately, he was. Not only that, he also managed to clean the wound, even though the dog clearly wasn't happy about it. Wow. The animal began growling and leaning away. The fearless man grabbed him firmly. Firmly. The dog calmed down. Although I wouldn't openly admit it, I was impressed. I would have never guessed that a simple guy from a small gas station knew so much about handling animals. To be honest, I didn't know why exactly he had abandoned his studies. He seemed amazingly skilled. I doubt it was because of poor marks. Alright, I did as much as I could. The wound isn't exactly that bad. His neck is swollen and there was some bleeding, but the cut wasn't deep, and he's a tough little fellow. But remember, in the end, I'm not a specialist. You should take him to a professional. Yeah, I know. It's just that there's no vet around here, and driving this fellow back home with that wound would have been pretty hard on him. That's why I called you. Yeah, he doesn't seem to be open to trips with strangers yet. I also brought you some dog food. Don't give him too much at once. If he didn't eat for a few days, he might not digest it properly. Anyway, what will you do with him? I don't know yet. When I found him, I just had to help him. I didn't have much time to think about what to do with him later. I don't feel like giving him away to a shelter. Maybe you could take him? He seems to trust you. I would love to have a dog, but you know fully well that I can't, Jack. Don't tempt me. Why not? You seem to be doing pretty well these days, and no, just no. You don't know how serious my debts are. I won't take responsibility for a living creature when I can't predict if I'll be able to pay my own bills next month. How a young guy like you got into such debts. Well, long story short, back when I was still studying, me and my brother took over our father's company. It was in a pretty bad shape, but we were sure we could restore it and start making money again. I even dropped out of college to have enough time to make it work. It didn't work out. The amount of work overwhelmed the both of us, but we didn't want to give up. We were stubborn people, me and my brother. Eventually, we went to a bank for a loan. That's how we ended up in debt. Yep, Loans, man. At one point, my brother decided that it was all my fault, that I hadn't done enough, that I was slacking. He accused me of all his bad decisions. I snapped and left. I've taken his gun with me. A few months later, I ended up here. Sounds tough. Yeah, I doubt there's anything worse than losing your close one's support. Sometimes it's better to leave than to manage with a tough person. Ain't that the truth? But hey, it's all water under the bridge unless my brother comes after me to collect his gun. Ha ha ha. I didn't know you owned a gun. Well, I need to look after my business. You never know. Ain't that the truth? You never know. So what do you intend to do with the dog? Actually, I was talking with Hope about adopting a dog yesterday, right before we started arguing. You seem to argue with your family a lot recently. I can sense your anger, Jack. Oh, really? What is it? Does my aura give it away? See, it comes out again. Doesn't matter if you believe me or not. Anyway, Hope accused me of not spending enough time with her. So, I was thinking maybe getting her a dog would be a very good way of reconnecting with her. Sounds like what she needs is your love, not a pet. A dog was just her way of drawing your attention. I know. But it seems like a good start, right? Sure. Any reason to spend more time with your kid is good. You should give the dog a name. A name? Coming up with one was always tricky. Would have taken weeks if I was to really think it through. I decided to just go with what came to my mind now. I looked at the dog. He tilted his head. First idea was pretty simple. Odin, the Norse god of war. Victory and hunting was a good strong name. Second name was Xander. As a boy, I really hated learning history, yet I always liked listening about Alexander the Great. It seemed more thrilling than the rest of the subjects. I wouldn't mind naming a dog after him. The last idea emerged when I thought about Hope. What was this favorite movie of hers called? Dragon something. And there was a dragon. It must have been a brave knight to defeat it. This guy here was big enough to be called Knight. I decided to go with either Xander or Knight. I don't know. I'm not gonna go with Odin. Let's see. I might go with Knight. Xander seems more fitting though. I'm gonna go with Xander. I'll name him Xander. It fits him well. By the way, Jack, there's one more thing I need to tell you. Don't tell me you and Nat have an affair. I would have to shoot you right here. Please don't. I still got my debts to pay off. What is it then? There was this chick at the station asking for Hal. She said she knew you. Oh yeah, no. I mean, she's just a chick I met and wanted to help. She seemed out of place. At first I thought she was some kind of junkie. She gave me this really weird feeling. She was shivering too. Anyway, Hal took her to the station, so she's not my problem anymore. But that's not all. Another woman arrived last evening asking after that chick. There was something about her I couldn't quite put my finger on. And boy, was she a stunner. Should have seen her. She was lean like a doe. What was I saying? The other woman. Oh, yeah. She asked about the military base. Thought she might be a spook or something. A spook? You've been watching too many action flicks, Chief. I'm telling you, man, something's going down. So many new soldiers arrived yesterday. Now this woman. There was also a guy with a briefcase this morning, and he... Hold up, Bob. Are you getting carried away? I mean, you are getting carried away. It's just another weekend in town, only with some outsiders traveling through. Yeah, you're probably right. I better head back. Got a business to run. See you later, Chief. When Bob left, I approached Xander. I decided to try Bob's trick to see if get a similar result. Oh, I clicked my tongue and extended my hand. Oh, God. At first, the dog just sniffed my palm, reluctant to do anything more. But after a brief moment of hesitation, he licked my fingers. I took it as a good sign. It was a start. So does this mean we're friends now? I scratched his back, causing a lot of tail wagging. It was just as I thought. He was a lap dog. His previous aggression must have been caused by a mix of fear and pain. I patted him on his head. He was nothing more but a giant pet. A pet with a jaw full of fangs and enough biting force to take your hand off. Still a pet. Hope would love him for sure. Funny that I came here to escape from all the attention with Natalie, but thanks to my new friend, I wanted to go back. I wanted to see the surprise on their faces. I wanted to see how happy Hope would be and how Natalie, unsure at first, would change her mind as soon as she saw them playing together. I knew it wouldn't resolve all our issues, that I would still need to face my shortcomings. The dog gave me a starting point. I knew what to do and had the confidence to do it. It didn't took Xander long to start frolicking around. I wasn't against the little wrestle playing, but knowing that the wound on his neck was still pretty fresh, I tried to do it as carefully as possible. Yet, when nearly 30 kilos of deadly fluffiness jumped me, I got overturned in a moment. I was too afraid to grab the dog by the skin. Soon, I regretted I hadn't done it, as our little play caused additional cost. I heard a loud crack near my right pocket. Okay, buddy, stop. That's enough. No, Xander, enough. Sit. When I finally managed to get from under the dog, I reached in my pocket to find that my phone took the whole enterprise pretty badly. The screen was covered in cracks, the battery went loose, the frame above the speaker was smashed. For a second, I thought it was done for. Fortunately, as soon as I put the battery back in, the phone came back to life. The case was cracked, but it was still usable. In the end, I decided to call it a night. It had been a long day. I planned on going for a hunt in the morning, so hitting the bed early was crucial. Reporting in. This is not a scheduled call, Agent. That's that woman that was smoking my car. That's the woman he was talking about. The woman got away. No one told me what to expect of her. She attacked several people at the hospital. I saw her. Calm down, Agent. This wasn't in the briefing. The girl basically bit her way out of the hospital and jumped off a third-story window. What? Uh-oh. Think this is the start of the apocalypse, huh? Bit her way out of the hospital? That's a Walking Dead-ish. She was like mad. I never seen anything like that, and the locals are shocked. Sheriff wants to organize a manhunt. I've already seen soldiers from the military base moving around town. The town will undergo a quarantine in a matter of 2 hours. This should make your second task easier, your briefing. Listen to me. If what she is carrying is infectious, your quarantine won't be able to contain it. People will die. I need to find her. Calm down, Agent. Focus on your second target and let us do our part. What about my extraction? You'll figure something out. Your task is to secure the scientist and get him out alive. And the second asset, he is none of your concern. Find the scientist, get him out alive, bring him to us. Do not fail this time. We'll be very sorry to see you go. It was still dark outside when I woke up. Xander was sleeping on the carpet near the fireplace. I rubbed my eyes and reached down for the phone to check the time. Weird. Seems the battery is dead. I was pretty sure it was around 40% the evening before. It seemed impossible to have discharged overnight. I must have forgotten to turn it off or something. There was nothing I could do about it now. Plugged the charger in and went to wake up my new friend. Hey, buddy, are you in for a hunt? Hmm? Come on. You'll like it. I could use some help. Think you're up for it? That's more like it. To be honest, I had no idea of taking Xander was a good idea. It was a pretty big chance he would scare all the other animals away. People often hunted with their hounds, but you needed to know how to train your dog for it. Worst case scenario, we would just have a nice stroll around the forest. Took my pocket knife, my rifle, and a piece of bandage with me. I wanted to be prepared better than the day before. I knew the area surrounding the cabin pretty well. I had a general idea where deers tended to roam. Even if I wouldn't shoot any, it was always great to spot one. That's what I had tried to communicate to Bob. It's not about the shot, it's about the hunt. We were walking quietly for half an hour. I was thinking about the guy who had left Xander. I had no respect for such a person. I remembered the rope. It must have belonged to a climber or someone working with boats. Bastard. Suddenly Xander stopped and started sniffing around. I knew he must have caught a trace. I had a feeling he was a real predator after all. I decided to trust his instincts. A dog's sense of smell could guide you to places you would otherwise miss. He stood still for a minute, focused on one direction. He began to growl, but I couldn't see anything. The dog began to run. I struggled to keep up with him. I was trying to guess what what we both were up against, a bear or deer or something else. However, what I saw was a person. A young man in a blue sports jacket and a baseball hat. Silver carabiners at his belt rattled as he walked. Compared to me, he made a hell of a lot of noise. I had never seen him before. What did I recognize, though? It was the place we were in, the same place where I found Xander the day before. Could this guy be the owner? Before I had a chance to connect the dots, all hell broke loose. The two of us weren't the only people around. There was someone else, someone I didn't expect to see again. It was that woman from the gas station, Jane. She was moving extremely fast. She ran up to the unsuspecting guy and jumped right on top of him, knocking him down. She leaned down towards his arm and... That's when the screaming started. At first, I couldn't really comprehend what was going on. My mind tried to come up with some kind of explanation. Maybe they were just fooling around. Maybe it was just some stupid charade. Maybe I was daydreaming. It took some time before the reality of what was happening hit me fully. I would never forget that sight. Oh my... Jane bit part of the guy's arm out and swallowed it. I saw her face. She was covered in blood when she bit down again to sink her teeth in the guy's throat. It was no longer a human face. She was devouring a living person. Can you imagine it? The guy was screaming in pain. He was trying to push her off, but didn't have enough strength. When she reached for his neck, it was already too late for him. Dude, she bit down to the bone. Soon the screaming was replaced by gargling and gnawing. I couldn't move. I was paralyzed with fear. Xander reacted first. He lunged at Jane, clenching his jaws on her hand. I don't know where her strength came from, but she torn the dog's jaws open and threw him away as if he were a paper doll. That's when she noticed me. Even though there was more than 20 meters between us, I could see her eyes. They weren't human anymore. She wasn't human. She was something else. Uh-oh. There was nothing in her face besides a primal rage. It was ancient fury of a wild beast in its most basic form. She lunged right at me. Her moves were quick and determined. She caught up with me before I had any time to think. Moments like this make you act on your instincts. Because he said, I don't know where her strength came from, so we're going to shoot her. I never gave it a cautious thought. I raised my rifle, my body acted on its own, recognizing the familiar motion. I aimed and took one shot. For a split second, my mind became crystal clear. I wasn't sure if it would make any difference. I breathed out and awaited the sentence. It was enough. I shot her right in the chest and through her lung. She was squirming on the grass, whimpering as her breath grew desperate and her moves sluggish. She started crying. When I shot animals, I always made sure they didn't suffer. If my shot missed its mark, I shot again. But this was different. I stood above the young woman, crying from pain. A woman who tried to eat a man alive a few seconds prior. A woman whom I had met days earlier. What was I supposed to do? I feel like she just get up. If we knock her out, she'd get up and kill somebody else. Run away, she'd eventually get up and kill somebody else, because with zombies, you have to go for the head. And that's what I'm getting from this is zombie vibes, like a zombie outbreak. I couldn't stand the sight anymore. I reached for my rifle and took aim. As I looked through this gun sight, our eyes met again. This time something was different. She was calm. It looked as if her eyes begged me to end the pain. Those weren't the eyes of a beast anymore. It was her. I couldn't bring myself to speak her name. The shot broke the dead silence of the forest. I'm not sure how long I was still staring at her empty eyes. They were mesmerizing. At one point it came to me. It was the first time I had ever shot another woman. I was a murderer. I killed a person. It didn't matter why. I ended life with somebody who had a family, who had friends and dreams. I took it all away. I threw up. As I was struggling to catch my breath and get a grip on myself, I remembered that Xander was still out there. I had to find him. The first thought that came after was Natalie. I touched my pockets, feeling for my cell phone. Nope, remember we left it charged up at the cabin. I need to get back to the cabin. As I decided to head straight back to my cabin, I heard a quiet whine. I came around frantically, searching for Xander. He was nearby, whimpering softly and licking the face of the now dead man. I wonder if that was his former owner. If so, what was he doing here? He had come to end his unfinished business, too afraid that somebody would find out? Or maybe he had a change of heart and came back to get his dog back. Guess we'll never know. I called up to Xander and started running back. He followed me, limping. After getting hit like that, it was no wonder. I had no idea what was going on and why that woman attacked me. The only thing I knew for certain was that I needed to call Natalie. I had to make sure she was safe. There's no time to waste. I picked up my pace. No time to waste. I picked up my pace. The sight of massacre was still fresh in my head. With all my might, I tried to think about something else, but the memory of blood and the torn out fragments of flesh was haunting me relentlessly. It was like a horror movie playing over and over, right in front of my eyes. My stomach turned upside down whenever I thought about what had happened. I could picture Jane's eyes staring back at me when I had taken the shot. I knew it was the right thing to do. It had to be. I had shot a young woman point blank in the head. There was nothing I could have done for her at that point. She was dangerous. I saw what she had done to the other guy. She came after me like an animal. It was either me or her. I was the one with the rifle. Deep in my mind, I thanked God. I was grateful that she wasn't as young as she wanted to appear. I wouldn't bring myself to shoot a child. I couldn't stop my hands from shaking. I clenched my teeth and tried to focus. I thought about having myself some whiskey, but I wasn't sure if it would make any difference. I needed to talk with somebody. I needed to talk with Natalie. God, I missed her. My hand shook when I reached for the phone. I unplugged it from the charger and pushed the power button. I wanted to make the call immediately, but soon as the phone came back to life, I got flooded with messages. Missed call, voice message, missed call. There was at least a dozen of unread messages. They're all from yesterday. How was it possible for me to miss so many calls? When I looked back at the phone, I realized how. Back when I was playing with Xander, the screen wasn't the only thing that got smashed. I must have somehow damaged the speaker. The phone must have been constantly ringing. I just didn't hear it. That would also explain why it was discharged in the morning. But who was calling me so many times and why? I needed to hear the voicemail, but the speaker wasn't working. I did the silliest thing that came to my mind. Punched the guy. You know what? It worked. Quickly connected with my voicemail. You have 4 new messages. First new message. Recorded Saturday, 11:48 p.m. You know how the phone sounds when you... Jack, pick up the gosh darn phone. This junkie they brought in yesterday, she snapped. Hal told me you met her. What were you thinking? She attacked some of the staff. There were only 3 of us. Another nurse and Dr. Jacobs got bitten and scratched. I've never seen anything like it. She jumped out of the window and vanished. It's crazy. I'm worried about Hope. I'll be heading back. Call me as soon as you get this. Be there for us this time. Second new message. Message recorded on Sunday. 15 seconds. Jack, pick up the phone, you bloody drunkard. Why aren't you calling back? You need to get your butt back here pronto. The people I've told about you, the people I've told you about are getting worse. Some of them got a terrible fever. Oh, yeah. An outbreak. It's like I said. One got real aggressive and we need to sedate him. Something's not right. It's like a nightmare. You better have a good reason for not calling back. This is the last time you disappointed me, Jack. I swear to God. Third message. Message recorded on Sunday, 1:32 a.m. Jack, I can hear gunshots here in the hospital. I need you to get back right now. Where the heck are you? Oh no. Ah! Fourth new message. Message recorded Sunday, 4:56 a.m. I'm coming for you, Jack. I've left Hope with stay where you are. The signal. The message ended abruptly. They didn't hit me. Sunday, 4:56 was 3 hours ago. All of this had already happened, and Natalie... And I'm going to stop it here for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching. My name is Raven from the Sky. If you enjoyed the episode, do me a favor and drop a like and subscribe to the channel and series grow. Take care, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.